Hello and welcome back to the Chatter Cave podcast, where we talk media in the form of reviews or just talk news articles that we're spotting that get our interest, and we can have a nice little chinwag about. I'm your host, Frank King Thomas Hughes. I'm joined by the.
I just keep... Ready, hang on, here's the rest of the podcast.
You're gonna sit in the chair. Yes, I'm joined by the lovely Connor O'Shea, aka Zenny F_ aka looks like Sean Ryder if you put some hair and glasses in a beard.
It does not look like you're Sean fucking right. If you got any bald guy and put long hair, bit of facial hair and glasses, it'll look like me. You fucker.
Oh yes, we've wasted the last 5 minutes just laughing at Connor for this picture that Hayden put together really quickly, and now he's put it as his background. Because why not? But yes, obviously today, we got our usual news articles I've come across that we're going to talk about in a bit. But I also have 3 movie reviews to do very quickly. Because, within the last,
2
week,
weeks, innit?
within the last week, I've seen 3 films. I watched one last Friday, I watched one Monday, and I literally came back from one today. So, 3 movie reviews. 2 of them kids' films, one's an adult film. Not an adult film in the sense of pornography. An adult film in the sense of, action film.
You never know.
Well, yeah, you never know. I mean, we could have asked them to put anything on the cinema today. But yes, anyway, so yeah, I got 3 movie reviews, and I'm kicking it off with the first film I saw, which was Disney's Elemental. One of the many films that kind of flopped at the box office when it came out. But obviously,
no, apparently it's doing better.
It's actually picking up a little bit of steam. It's almost at 300 million, which is very close to being Disney's highest grossing animated movie since the start of the pandemic. And Hayden's very interested in that factoid. It's very true. It's on the verge of beating Encanto, because Encanto is currently the highest grossing Disney animated film since the pandemic. Since obviously a lot of people have got to the point of now with animated ones, they're just waiting for Disney Plus release. A lot of people aren't as fussed. I feel like with the bigger ones, obviously MCU and stuff like that from Disney, people are actually interested to obviously go into the cinema to watch it. But obviously these sort of ones where it's like an animated film, it's just a case of Disney Plus in a few months, we'll watch it then. That's what it's come to.
The kids don't want to scream in the cinema, just keep them at home and watch it on Disney.
Exactly. So that's the kind of mindset people are going through. But obviously, it's obviously picked up a bit of steam recently, and it's doing all right. So I went to watch it on its UK release, since it came out the same time as The Flash, I think it was, in America. And a lot of other places. Irony, like that, June was just a month of flops, eventually. But for us in the UK, we didn't get it till pretty much the start of July. But still, obviously, I went to watch it. I was like, fuck it, I got my cinema pass, I'll go and watch it. And honestly, I'm not sure why it gets a lot of hate. It's actually a really great animated movie. It's really fun. It's basically a rom-com, which I hate rom-coms, but there's a couple of odd ones here and there. The more unorthodox ones, I'd like to call them, that I actually get interested in. I.e., Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. That was a decent one. Palm Springs with the actor Andy Samberg. Obviously the Groundhog Day type one. And obviously, know this. So yeah, obviously I didn't... With the idea of rom-com, I didn't realise, due to the marketing, obviously we spoke randomly about the fact this film was really badly marketed. So obviously I didn't know much about it going into it. So if I was told a rom-com going into it, I probably would have said, no, not me. I know I got a cinema pass and I can go whatever I want, but I'm not really into rom-coms. Unless, obviously, Hayden dragged me. But obviously I went into it blind, and I walked out going, actually, that's actually a really solid animated picture. The characters are fun to follow, and you do actually want to see them end up together, because there's a lot... It's opposites attract, which is interesting, because obviously you can take it as a fact of it's opposites attract, but you can also take it as a little subtext of interracial relationships. So obviously it's got the grown-up theme there, since a lot of Disney movies, these kids ones, there's always a little grown-up theme, so the adults will go, oh, okay. Usually in it's usually very subtle, like a random side character like gay or something like that. Something that they quickly
chuck in
and brush over. But this one, obviously, it's the whole theme of it. Really, is like fire and water coming together, and it's in the sense of essentially it's an interracial relationship that a lot of people are looking at and frowning on. Obviously, the supporting character is actually really fun, especially Grodd, the little kid character that obviously you said that some weird like video that Pixar put out. It's very strange,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, "Whoa!" Even though it's just like
It is very like clearly forced. Like this
yeah,
character's new, no one knows who it is. So why is everyone screaming?
yeah.
First appears in the
He's
film.
a very fun character from the get go. I mean, the whole like, I mean, if you can watch the clip online right now. It's a really fun scene where he literally encounters the fire character. And he's like really hitting on that, even though she's meant to be like a teen or well, basically an adult, and he's basically a little kid, and he keeps hitting on her constantly. And he's got like every time he lifts his arm, he's got like little flowers growing. Since he's obviously Earth, he's got flowers growing. Obviously, he keeps plucking them to try and give it to her. Obviously, she keeps just burning them, and he just has some like really good one-liners. Obviously, when she's like, "Oh, it's like an act of God for me to be with you." He's like, "Act of God, more like an act of God." She's like, "Oh my God." So he's a very fun, hilarious character. The animation is really great, especially like the movement of the fire and water. Like it actually looks like they've actually done a good job of making it look realistic. Obviously, how the fire burns, how the water sort of moves inside. They've done a really good job of actually like going the realism aspect, which obviously they didn't really have to, but it's a nice touch that adds a bit more to the movie. The story's basic. There were a few points here and there. Obviously, I think me and Hayden spoke about it on the way back. Like I was like, they could have added something here, something there, and obviously it would have added a bit more. Because it's like a bit when they're like, oh, there's a crack in, there's the water coming from the water's coming from somewhere, and obviously there's like a massive crack on a wall, and it kind of like hints that maybe someone's done it, but it's not. It's literally just like a natural occurrence. But they're kind of constantly hinting at someone's done it, but nothing comes from it. And I was saying that I feel like they could have done something like someone maybe sabotaged it. Like that would have been like an interesting thing. Like someone's trying to take out the fire town. But obviously, there's a few little points here and there. But other than that, obviously, I can look past them. But obviously, apart from like Onwards and Lightyear being obviously the more meh for me Pixar movies, I feel like since the pandemics began, Pixar have actually put out some decent, solid animated films. Turning Red, Soul. Luca, I think there's another one, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But obviously they put out some really decent animated films, and this one adds to that. Obviously, it's just obviously Onward and Lightyear, the ones that I thought was just alright.
I think my favourite one they released like not too long ago was probably Soul. I really like Soul.
Soul was good, yeah, the one they released over
Soul,
Christmas.
yeah, I think that's one of their better ones.
It wasn't Pixar. That was just Disney. I think for me, I'd probably say maybe Turning Red. I like Turning Red.
Like I said, I always with the approach that Pixar are going now, it's obviously just doing different like themes. Like for example, you said about it, this one being like an interracial kind of thing. Turning Red was about like, was it like go through puberty and whatever? They're just trying to do like different things, I guess. But I know they announced straight after Elementals that they were releasing like a new Toy Story. I think that was their little backnet to be like, okay, we're releasing something everyone kind of wants now. Shit.
So there's a new one coming out next year. That alien one with the kid with the eye patch.
I think they announced actual Toy Story 5 was in works now after Element or whatever. It was like, yeah, okay, we kind of need to put something big that everyone wants now, not these random.
I think there's a load of ones that are kind of in the works right now. But I do actually want to see more stories from this world because there's a massive world of water, air, earth, and fire, and obviously it brushes a lot of it to focus heavily on your two main characters. So I would love to see more stories, even if it's like little like short stories set within this world to give it a bit more building. Because I definitely want to see like maybe something focused on the Earth one, because obviously the Earth basically element was basically kind of brushed over entirely, apart from really Grodd and that random slow guy that works in the like the fucking office. Apart from that, literally everything was brushed over. Same with Air. The only real one was the one who's the head of basically the company. The only elements it really focused on was fire, specifically the family, and obviously water, obviously his family. Everyone else was kind of like just there. So I'd like to see them like do some more stories with them. That's not really like anything based on this film, like review wise. It's just like my personal opinion. I'd like to see them push on with like more stories based on other characters in this world, because it is a really cool world. And so the animation of the elements is really good, so I'd like to see them do something again with this, not just like go, okay, it didn't do it as good, let's just brush it over, let's not do anything related to this world ever again. I feel like I'm hoping because of how it's kind of picked up that steam, it might be looked at, okay, maybe we do something with this. Either it's another cinema effort, or we do something for Disney Plus, like something designed specifically, like Monsters at Work, the Monsters Inc. spin-off,
series,
which was made specifically for Disney Plus. So that would be quite. I'd like to see something like that. What else have I got? But yeah, just overall, it's definitely better than its early box office numbers were stating. So obviously, it going up now, it's definitely more in line with that. Obviously, it's not going to be a massive fucking $1 billion hit. I mean, as I say, it's almost at 300 million. I feel like that's where it's going to hit, and that'll be that. So it's not a massive hit, but I feel like the movie's better than the money coming in says it is. It's probably one of my. I definitely say it's probably, other than Spider-Verse, it's definitely one of my favorite June movies that have come out. But yeah, it's a fun family film that's heartwarming, and I'd give it a 9.2 out of 10.
Oh, pretty high.
It's good. I hated the fact that a lot of things like, do you know, I see the idea of, as soon as like a superhero film flops, the idea of superhero fatigue comes in. As soon as this kind of flopped, everyone was just like, oh, the era of Pixar is finally over and stuff like that. I was like, not really. I mean, though the movies aren't making that much money because obviously people are more interested in the Disney Plus release of it, they're still getting decent reviews. It did okay critically. It did better audience-wise. Obviously, Turning Red did the exact same. And a lot of these other ones that put out, Luca, Soul, Onward, Lightyear, all these have done pretty decent reviews. They're not like straight up shite reviews, like say something like that Strange New World that came out, which was okay. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible. Like something like that, which came out to a bit more negative reviews. The Pixar movies that have been putting out during the pandemic have actually come out to pretty good reviews. Yeah, the box office totals don't match the reviews, but that is because of, obviously, as I say, people are waiting for the Disney Plus release, and obviously some of them did go straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah,
it's definitely something I recommend checking out if you get the chance.
I think the biggest problem with, like, obviously Pixar movies and stuff as well is that people go into them as adults and be like, oh, this is made for me, but it's not. It's made for kids. Like, you have nostalgia and stuff for Toy Story, and obviously Toy Story is more. A lot of, like, obviously Monsters in Toy Story, and that's made for like the older audiences now, just because it's hitting on nostalgia.
Yeah,
obviously with the new IP, it's obviously made for kids now, not.
It's meant to be the Toy Story, the Monsters Inc., the Finding Nemo of then, but now, if you know what I mean. So obviously, as you say, they're bringing these old ones out again with new sequels, spin-offs and whatnot to get the nostalgia from the adults. But these new IPs they're bringing out are meant to be the same idea as the old ones. So then so much time down the line, those adults who were kids when these ones are coming out are getting the same vibe as, say, we are now for those ones that are coming back out again. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and they released like Monsters Inc. like 10 when we were like 18, but I remember that. Oh, they used Mike Wazowski. And you got Mike Wazowski in like a wheelchair or something like that.
But yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying there. Obviously, my second movie review is one I went to watch on Monday, which is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is obviously the 7th Mission Impossible movie, and it's a banger. It's a fucking... The action is great. It's really well paced. The cast is fantastic. The stunts, especially the bike scene, which you see in the trailer when he rises the bike off a cliff and fucking just skydives off this cliff, that is just ridiculous, like, in a good way. Like, how he's managed to get away with doing that. I mean, there's a lot of behind the scenes coming out now. It's like showing a lot of these stunts, like the train sequence when they're actually fighting on top of a fucking train as it's moving. That is just insane to think that they actually went and did that. Because a lot of the movies now that
as well.
Oh, sorry.
Didn't they crash the train as well?
That's the one. Yeah, they crashed it in Derby, I think it was, or Dudley.
They had like one take or something.
Yeah, they made a train specifically just to razz it off the edge of it, into a fucking what they're called. Like a massive, it's not, like a quarry. They made like a train specifically just to razz it into a quarry. But I know, I said a lot of behind the scenes coming out now of showing these obviously action sequences taking place, and I say it's crazy that obviously if you look at say some of the early Mission Impossibles, like a lot of the stunts obviously would have been green screen and crap like that. there weren't anything major, but it's crazy now that all these ridiculous stunts are happening. And obviously Tom Cruise is the one pushing for. I mean, so with Fallout, there was a whole helicopter sequence which he got his own license just to fly a fucking helicopter for a stunt. Like, it's insane. The fact, obviously, I think it was number 5, Rogue Nation, when he held on to the side of a plane as it took off. Like, it's like, what the fuck? And I said this one has literally got the whole car chase sequence. It's got the train sequence. It's got the bike sequence. Like, it's crazy. Obviously, you can tell where some like digital effects have been added just to obviously cover a few things up here and there, but it's not too bad. It's hard to see. It's really good. Obviously this one added the extra character in the form of Hayley Atwell's thief character. Obviously she's most famous recently for obviously reprising the role as Agent Carter in the Doctor Strange sequel, and obviously in the What If series. She plays a really great character in this. She's like kind of comes in as like possible love interest Tom Cruise, and eventually kind of heads more into that idea. Like, it's funny because I kept making the joke saying he's got like a rule, like he's only like one female character per movie, like that to eradicate the other ones from this franchise, because each one only seems to have like one character, and usually the one ends up just kicking the bucket or just being written out of it entirely. And so with the train scene as well, it's probably my favourite train fight. Like, I love the train scene in The Wolverine, which I got vibes from this, from like a scene where the guy's like stabbing the top of a train. There's a scene in The Wolverine with that, and I got vibes from that film in this. But I think this, for me, just because how realistic it is, for the fact that, as you say, they did it on top of an actual fucking train, that makes this so much fucking better. The rest of the train sequence as well is great. It just reminds me of Uncharted 2. The opening for the game when the train's like crashed and they're trying to climb up the train.
Oh yeah,
they literally do that in this film, and I was like, so we got the plane sequence in Uncharted, which is literally from Uncharted 3, and then we got the train scene from Uncharted 2, but in Mission Impossible. Like, that's fucking cool. Obviously there's little bits of humour here and there, like it's more of a serious film, so there's only like little sprinklings of humour here and there, and it works. Like, that humour does make you laugh, like, that's quite funny actually. But the rest of the seriousness does draw you in, like, okay, I'm drawn in, and that does bring you out a little bit, like, that's quite funny, and then it draws you back in. Like, that's really well written. Just the overall tone in general is spot on, and I generally can't wait for part 2. I'm not too sure if it's next year. Apparently, as far as I'm aware, it's next year, but I don't know if they've actually started filming it or what they've filmed or whatnot. So more than likely, it might end up being like a fucking Spider-Verse situation where they delay it a fucking year or 2. And so I don't know how much they've done on it, because it was meant to be like a back-to-back filming, but obviously COVID, kicked that in the bucket. I mean, this film has literally been filming since 2020. Like, it started just before COVID. COVID happened, it put it on the back burner, and when they started refilming, I know Tom Cruise had to buy like a fucking like a yacht or like a cruise ship. A cruise ship, that was it. Yeah, it was a cruise ship because obviously some people got COVID, so obviously
the Tom Cruise ship.
He bought a cruise ship, parked it up in the fucking obviously the ocean, and fucking just let everyone sleep on it so he could actually carry on filming. And I think he put a lot of his own money into making sure it actually went through, and it's come through now. And obviously, review-wise, just through the roof. I mean, critically, I think at the moment it's at 96. I think it's gone down to now, so it's still really fucking high. And audience 94, I think it was, something like that on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's still really high compared. Obviously, it come out straight away at like 99%. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, I agree. It's definitely up there. I definitely put it more in line with its early reviews than its more recent reviews. It's really fucking good. I'm still debating. So I'm trying to drag this out because I'm debating what to give it, because I've got a score here. I'm just like, do I go one more? I want to go one more. Fuck it, I'm going to go with what I originally went with. That was like a kind of sum up in the end. So yeah, I think in terms of ratings, I want to give it 9.8 out of 10. I'm going really high with this one. Like, I love Mission Impossible Fallout because I love a lot of the fight scenes. I think this just about tops it. Like, for me, like, that one was like a 9.7. This just about tops it. And as I can't wait for part 2 to come out, because this ends with like a massive cliffhanger of what they go. Obviously, it ends where the film kind of starts, and that's how the plot of the next one's going to follow is them going on this mission to go after. I'm not going to say what we're spoiling it. Go after basically something. So that's where it's going to go from here. So I'm definitely going to interested to see how they handle that in the sequel. Good. It's crazy how this has gone like a John Wick route. Since the fourth film, the quality of the movies have just gone
up and up.
just like John Wick up. So
The budget goes up, revenue goes up.
The budget on this, I think I said to you, didn't I?
Ridiculous,
Was it like 280 million or something? Like I said to you, like
stupid, yeah.
As a couple of podcasts ago, wasn't it? I said it to you. I was like, I swear the budget's like 280 million or something stupid like that, and you can see that. So I'm hoping it makes its money back because obviously it's at a point now where it's come out. Hopefully the reviews get people into it, but the problem is you've got two big other movies on the horizon. Oppenheimer and Barbie both come out next week. Both are going to draw people away. So that's again another problem, just like they had in June. There's too many movies coming out at the same time, so that's going to draw people away. Obviously, the only good thing with this and say Barbie is they're 12As, so a lot more people can go see it. Whereas Oppenheimer's a 15, which is why I think I've read somewhere. Obviously, they're predicting Barbie's basically going to beat it in its opening weekend, which makes sense because it's age rating. The age rating of 15 and 3-hour runtime is what's going to draw people away. Whereas Barbie's 12A and under 2-hour movie, I think it is, like an hour 50, something stupid like that. That's going to draw people in. It's shorter and more people can get into it. And it's an established franchise, but it's based on an established toy line.
So, and Ryan Gosling.
Essentially, it's the it's the Transformers for the girls. Like what Transformers was back in the day when it came out for basically us lads. Barbie's basically that for girls. Girls and basically boyfriends that are being dragged to it.
Where's my X-Men Action Man series? All my Action Man films.
There's a little end credit scene for this in the movie where fucking Action Man turns up.
They better put it in there.
Let's go to work, Ken.
That's killing them all.
It's the next one. Barbie versus Action Man.
Oh, yeah.
They're both going to end with them going, Martha!
Why
do you say that name?
For God's sake.
But yeah, anyway, so my third and final review is one I went to watch today, which has been out for a couple of weeks, quite at the same time as Indiana Jones. And I kind of didn't fully skip it. It was a case of there was no decent time slots, and obviously all these other films coming out that I kind of was like, I'm going to watch that first. So this was kind of like one of those ones where if there's a decent time, I can go watch it, which is obviously Ruby Gillman's Teenage Kraken, the DreamWorks movie, which is another flop. Obviously, it's another one just like Elemental that flops, but unlike Elemental, this one hasn't yet got on the rise. But it is a shame because it's a fun family film. It is really fun. The animation is good. My main issue though with the animation is I'm not a big fan of the character designs. I think some of the character designs are very weird. And I just don't like the character designs in this film. Like, I like the designs of the Krakens when they fully grow up into big Krakens. The little designs are basic, but they're still a bit better than the human designs. But when they go full Kraken, like giants, they are really well done. I mean, the lighting when they light up is really, really beautiful. And the fact that I see because there's 3 Krakens in this film, obviously the daughter, the mom, and the grandma. Each 3 have a different design when they go full Kraken. So I like that. I like the fact they haven't just copied and pasted the designs going through. They've actually given them different designs, different colours, and it's cool. I mean, I like the fact that obviously they got superpowers as well, so they can like laser beam eyes, and on top of that, they can make their skin like fucking like rock hard armor, which is pretty cool during the big fight scene. The story's okay. Obviously, it's a coming of age story about a girl's true self being revealed. I think it was done better in Turning Red. I prefer that film to this. It's the same sort of aspect, just obviously this one's got more obviously an action focus, whereas that was more of like, let's say, a coming of age story and a girl going through puberty. Whereas this is like literally a girl stumbling into a true self and having to fight to save everyone. So there's a bit more of an action side to this, but I still prefer Turning Red. The music's good as well. The music's alright. There's some like popping tunes here and there. But the best character in this film is the dad. By far, the dad's the best character. He has his weird ASMR, like putting ships together in like the bottles with ships in them.
Yeah, boat in a ball.
He's got like weird ASMR like Twitch streams, so he's putting them together. Like it's like it just cuts through. It's like, yeah, here we go. We're gonna put the mast up, and There we go. Like really, like out of nowhere, but it's so fucking hilarious. Like for fuck's sake, like the amount of fucking like streamers in this film is ridiculous. Obviously, you got your basic gamer streamer. Obviously, you got the dad with his ASMR bottle fucking streaming, and right at the end, you got the captain, like this ship captain who's hunting krakens with his own little stream. And I'm pretty certain Hayden pointed out one of the fucking like it's got the little Twitch chats popping up. Obviously, it's not meant to. It's obviously it's not Twitch, but it's like meant to be like a Twitch type platform. Actually, that's why I said like one of the things that popped up saying they're going like, all right, big nose and something like that. Because you're always gonna have that one person that basically is like an arsehole, and this has that in the little messages, which is pretty funny. The uncle character, obviously there's an uncle character that pops into this. Who's like they haven't seen him for years. He's more linked to obviously the grandma. Obviously he's your generic dumb character, but he's still pretty funny. Particularly the harpoon scene. They got a harpoon. He's like, oh, shiny, and he shoots it up in the air, and they all just back away because they know what's gonna happen. He's like, huh? It impales him in the head. He's like. It's straight through his fucking head. But obviously, he's done that in front of a human. And obviously, realistically, if you get hit in the head with a fucking harpoon, I'm pretty certain people are going to be like, okay, I'm pretty certain you're not human. Then again, they somehow get away in this film by saying, because obviously, everyone else looks normal. They're obviously clearly blue. They've clearly got gills. They've got ears, I think. Do you know the one way they basically bullshit their way out of this?
Well, then.
They say they're from Canada, and everyone just believes them. Apparently that's what Canadians look like. They look like gill people.
I mean, have you seen Tony?
You mean Mini-Me?
He does look a bit like a fish, man.
A little bit like a fish, man. But yeah, somehow like they get away with that. I'm just like, it's a funny joke, but couldn't you think of a better way of like hiding them in plain sight? And obviously, I think with this, obviously, there's a big plot twist involving, obviously, the mermaid character, but it gives it all away in the trailer. Because obviously, this is obviously meant to be the DreamWorks' idea, like what there'd be Shrek with ripping off Disney fairy tales. This obviously is kind of ripping off Little Mermaid, since the antagonist is literally meant to be Ariel.
As the hero is a kraken.
Yeah, the hero is a kraken instead of, obviously, whereas in the Mermaid, it was obviously Ursula as the squid octopus fucking villain. Yeah, so it's just like the opposite. So obviously that plot twist is literally given away in the trailer. You literally see the mermaid become a giant fucking monster for the big battle at the end, like the big kaiju battle.
They even say mermaid.
Yeah, they give it all away in the trailer. It's just like they probably could have edged the trailer differently to get away with it. I know, obviously, I was reading that's like one of the things with this is that's why a lot of critics are saying like this one thing saying it flops is obviously heavily its marketing. And obviously a few other things, obviously a few other films being out, causing it basically people to be drawn away from it. But I say I think it's more marketed than fucking Elemental was. Because I definitely saw this trailer pop up a lot more at the cinema than I did Elemental. I think I saw maybe Elemental.
I don't think I saw a single one for Elemental.
I think I saw it maybe once at a track. Twice, I think. I thought it was more once. I remember the scene with when she's on the train. Yeah. I remember seeing that trailer, and I don't remember seeing it again, but I know the train's cracking. I've seen it about 4 or 5 times in the cinema. Like, they constantly keep advertising it. But yeah, it's just, that's my one big negative, is just they've just spoiled too much in the trailer. But obviously this here, what I'm about to say now, is nothing really to do with the film. It's just, it's something I wanted to bring up. It was really interesting and nice being the only 2 people in the cinema. Like,
was there any blowjobs in the back of the cinema?
We were just literally taking the piss. Every time we'd speak, I literally tell them, shh. I literally look at everyone. They were sitting to go, shh. People are trying to watch the movie. Shut the fuck up. I kept doing stuff like that constantly. It was hilarious as well because then obviously the people that come at the start, they're like, right, hello and welcome to the cinema. Obviously, I was like, I better fucking lean against the fucking railing, the banister, just so they can know I'm there. So I'm there leaning, waiting. And the guy comes in, looks at the middle, and looks and goes, oh. And obviously, no, he usually just speaks like everyone has an overall. He just literally directly spoke, just like, if there's any problems, I'm out here. It was like, said.
What would they do if no one went?
That's what I said. That's what I said. I said, I'm guessing maybe, because obviously, in terms of buying tickets online, come the start of the movie, / just a minute after, you can't book online. So I'm guessing you can probably still book in the cinema. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing maybe up until the point of the movie starting, just before the movie starts, they'll basically probably have the tickets for sale. So you can probably get them for at least 20 minutes after the start time. And then I'm guessing what they'll do then, if there's nothing on, obviously, as Hayden said, they'll probably show the trailers, and once it's basically the point of it's the whatnot, maybe the person will go in, have a look. If no one's in there, then they'll stop playing it. They won't play the actual film. They'll probably put the stuff on just in case. And obviously, if there's no sales on the film, they'll probably just scrap it entirely and don't bother showing it. But yeah, obviously, it was very weird. Like I said to her before, and I was woke up, I was like, still just us two. Got into Warsaw, looked at it, it's like, still just us two. Sat in the cinema screen. It's still only just us two on here. And I was like, this is crazy. And let's say, usually you sometimes find that some people are sort of walking right before the film starts, and literally no one walked in and was like, what the fuck? It's literally just us two in here. That's crazy. It's
the one that's like booking the tickets and all the canoes.
It's definitely an interesting experience because I've been in a film that's been jam-packed, and now I've been in a film where the only people in there is literally the person I've come with. I've now done both sides of the equation. It's just like crazy. It's definitely weird, as Hayden says, because you better not need a piss during this film, so you're gonna have to. I was have to leave her by herself in the screening. I'm surprised. It's fair. I'm surprised she didn't move seats because we could have just moved anywhere in that room. We could have literally gone like to the top middle. Because obviously we have our usual 2-seaters by the banister, and we literally could have just fucked off to one of the other seats. But
take it anyway.
We could have just run around the cinema screen, whoa, woo.
And he got behind the fucking projector. Shut the fuck up!
That's what she said. She said we'll be there taking the piss the entire film, and there'll be fucking projectionists going, "Shut the fuck up! We're trying to watch the fucking movie." He just cracked me at the guy's reaction. And when he walked in, obviously looked in the middle, saw no one, just saw us just sitting there, this on the banister, looking down at him. He was like, "Oh." Also, I never realised they do extra large fucking drinks. I knew they did large.
Extra large.
No,
on what drinks?
Like Coke, like Coke.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
didn't realize. Fuck me, because she brought one. Because obviously the guy was like, "Oh, extra large, like only like so much more." And she's obviously she brought that. Fuck me, it's like I haven't got anything. Like we literally left like a bit at the bottom. I can't even like. I got like a random cup here. Like that's a small cup with 10 bubbles in. But like it's like twice this like fucking size of this like height width, and I was like, fucking hell.
I'll buy one when we go.
You have to when we go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we have to pick one up because it's fair. They're good for 2 people.
One each.
Because literally we had 2 straws in it. I mean, we kind of just drank from the same straws. Like at one point, I was like just sucking from both straws. But yeah, I didn't even know that. But yeah, anyway.
It would just be me with a Coke because I made Dia promise that I'll get a Tango Ice Blast. So.
To be fair, the last time
she's like, I'll come, but I want a Tango Ice Blast. So.
Not last time. I think the time before with Indiana Jones, the Ice Blast was really fucking nice. Like it wasn't icy; it was really fucking nice. Anyway, finish off the review. As I say, overall, it's a fun movie with heart, action, and comedy. I'll give it 7.8 out of 10.
7.8.
It's a reasonable amount. That's in the 7s I refer to as entertaining. Obviously, so the character designs kind of do draw it back a bit. Obviously, these are all my first impressions. Obviously, rewatches can bring it down, higher it up. That's how I always work. I like to have a basic, like all these ones I've done over the past few weeks. I see Indiana Jones, Flash, and when I give like those reactions, come a rewatch, I could drop it. I could watch them and go, actually, you know what? I'm seeing something I didn't see when I first watched it. Bring it back. Or I've saw something. Oh, I didn't see that. That's definitely much better now. Like, for example, obviously on rewatch the Flash, I could drop it below 8. For a rewatch of Indiana Jones, I could drop it above. I can put it above a 9. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are all like first impressions. I'm always someone that after rewatches, that the impression can either change for the good, for the worse, or they can stay the same. So yeah, I'm gonna give at the moment a 7.8 out of 10. It's not the best DreamWorks movie you'll find. I prefer the Shrek franchise. I prefer the Hedge Train Dragon franchise. But obviously, I've got a question here for you. Hayden brought this up. There's 2 aquatic DreamWorks-based movies, which obviously you haven't seen this one, but you've probably seen like clips from this, like the trailer for this, probably or whatnot. What would you say from the look of the trailer? Would you prefer this or Shark Tale?
Shark Tale.
Yes. She said she goes to me on the way back. She's like, The two Aquatic DreamWorks movies, this and Shark Tale, she goes, I prefer this. I went, fuck off. Shark
Are
Tale.
you having a laugh?
He said, you having a laugh?
You having a fucking laugh?
She keeps saying
Do you
Shark
not forget
Tale
the
shit.
whole scene? Do you not forget the whole scene with the little shrimp on a plate, and he's like, and he lets him out the window. That's like by far better than the entire film of this, and I'm not even seeing this film, and I already know that.
My argument for why Shark Tale's better was at the car wash. Whoa, 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 whoa.
No one talking about the sexy ass fish as well. When he's like, turns around, he's got loads of money. He's like,
I want to rewatch Shark Tale now, man. Shark Tale's the best. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should buy tickets to this movie again. Hopefully, no one goes and shout up, "Can we watch Shark Tale?"
Yes. He basically just said what we should do. We should go this again. If no one's in the cinema, we should just say to them, "Can you swap in for Shark Tale on instead?" Yeah, plug in like a Netflix account or something. Put it on.
I think that's the most, the worst opinion I've ever heard is that this film is better than Shark Tale because of nothing. Come on. To be fair though, I have to say this film is very, very heavily advertised more to a female audience than Shark Tale. But Shark Tale by far 10 times better. And I've not even watched the film in another.
He said it's the worst opinion he's ever heard in his life. Nah, the worst opinion's got to be me saying Morbius was okay.
My favourite thing about Morbius is when people convince them to put it back into cinemas and no one went again.
That was the best, that was. We want to see it again. We didn't get to see it the first time. Okay, we'll put it back in cinema. We put it in again, we didn't get to see it again. I love how they asked for a third time. But yeah, so that's my 3 movie reviews. Let's go into our news, shall we? You got any news you found?
The Microsoft Activision thing got passed, and then they took them back to court again. So it went through. So there's a Xbox. Well, Microsoft was allowed to buy Activision Blizzard, and then what's the organization? Oh, the FTC in America, isn't it? That was like, yeah, this is very biased on Xbox side, so we're going to take it back to court again. So now they're going back to court again, I believe. I think it's going back again. It's never going to end. They're going to keep going over and over until they win.
So all the news I get related to that is literally from you. Every time, obviously, we did these podcasts, that's the only time I get these sort of news is when you basically bring it up. I don't see anything of this. I might see like a glimpse every now and again, like that one with the Call of Duty thing the other week. Like that's like very rarely something like that pops up. It's literally the only time I get like actual like full in-depth news on this is when you come up and like, oh, you see what happened with Microsoft again.
Pretty funny thing that happened with obviously the FTC. Obviously during all the court case that was going on, someone went onto the Wikipedia page and changed the FTC logo for like Sony's logo and was putting like we're a shill for Sony and everything on there, and like changing it all. It's fucking stupid, man.
Oh, what have I got news wise? Obviously about 2 weeks ago was it? Or was it last week? 2 weeks ago, they obviously did the casting for Superman. For the new Superman Legacy movie, they obviously did Superman and Lois. This past few days, they've now cast 4 more characters for that movie, 4 heroes. They haven't cast the villain yet. No, that was a rumor. I'll say that in a minute. They cast 4 characters, and there's also a rumor of a big actor being offered a big role. So anyway, so the 3 they've cast. So at the moment they've cast Guy Gardner, who's a Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkeye. Hawkgirl. I put Hawkeye in my notes. Hawkgirl.
Close enough.
Close enough. Obviously, the Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, is being played by the usual James Gunn actor Nathan Fillion, who obviously was TDK in the Suicide Squad film. Which obviously eradicates that from this timeline then, since he's playing that character. I read apparently that he said like in like a thingy like the reason why he's cast him as Guy Gardner is because he kind of just wants to give his mate a bowl cut hair just to basically take the piss out of him. That's the whole reason apparently he's cast his mate as the role is because he wants to cut his hair with a bowl so he can take the piss out of him. The second one, obviously Mr. Terrific is being played by the actor who played Darwin in X-Men First Class. Have you seen X-Men First Class, Connor? When they're younger, when they first meet them all.
I think I've watched parts of it, or at least I've seen the
trailer. The one right at the end when obviously Professor X gets shot in the back.
Magneto pulls the ship out of the water? Am I thinking something else?
Yes, I think it's when
Maybe I watched.
he curves the bullet and shoots fucking Charles in the back.
To be fair, I've watched so many clips of films from like TikTok and shit. I probably feel like I've seen most of the fucking film, so probably
But
I feel like
basically, the
that.
character that was in that basically could like adapt to any surroundings, but yet died instantly.
Oh, the black dude.
They put something in his
Yeah,
mouth,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
basically
yeah,
that guy's
yeah.
playing the character Mr. Terrific.
Like the
Uh,
one of the coolest heroes that they kill straight away.
yeah, the one that
Yeah,
basically
I do know him about.
he's technically immortal, and yet they kill him off straight away.
Yeah, I know him about. Yeah.
And then obviously Hawk Girl is being played by the actress who played the live action Dora.
Yes, I kind of know yet about.
The one who was in was she in Transformers? She was in the last night, wasn't she? Yes, she was. And she did that Jason
The one after
the last night. And then she did the that Jason Momoa film last year, that Sweet Girl, or the year before, one of them. I think it was the year before actually. But yeah, and then just literally this morning they announced that actor Anthony Carrigan, who appeared in 20 episodes of Gotham as the psychopath Victor Zsasz, has been cast as the hero Metamorpho. He's the one he's like multiple colours. If you saw a picture of him, you might go, "Oh shit, might have seen that somewhere before."
Have a look.
Metamorpho. He's like pink, brown. Like he's multiple colours. You might have seen like a picture of him before.
He looks like he's got a big bald head and he's half orange, half pink.
Yeah, that guy.
I kind of have seen him.
It's one of those ones that you might have seen it before pop up and be like, oh, okay, and just like ignored it after that. But yeah, so yeah, there's like four castings so far on top of the Superman and Lois one, and also apparently there's rumors that Warner Brothers have offered Daniel Craig the role of Lex Luthor. Apparently. I don't know how true it is.
For people wanting it to be Bryan Cranston, everyone could be like, Bryan Cranston.
He keeps getting pissed off, doesn't he, with that? He keeps saying
and he's like, just because I'm a bald guy in one series doesn't mean I'm going to play a bald guy in every film.
he keeps saying, stop typecasting me as bald guys. But yeah, so yeah, apparently that's like the rumour at the moment. I don't know how true it is. But yeah, so that's the Superman related news. First reaction for Barbie and Oppenheimer have come out, and apparently they've been very positive.
I do want to watch Oppenheimer, to be fair.
And so I think we're doing Barbie on the Friday, and then we're doing Oppenheimer on the Saturday. It's been 3 hours long. I'm going fucking like Saturday lunchtime. Fuck that.
Yeah. You can go home and sleep.
Exactly. And then apparently there's been some early reaction to Gran Turismo. That have also been very positive. Apparently, like there's a lot of praise saying it's a very solid video game adaptation. That's a lot better than most adaptations.
Talking about video game adaptations,
go.
The new Twisted Metal series looks fucking dreadful. Why they made it like comedy? It looks nothing. It's so bad. The game's like super serious, like it's killers and everything. They made it like all comedy.
I've never played the game, so I can't really.
It looks so.
To me, it looks a really over top fun series. But obviously, if it's nothing like the game, then obviously people are going to hate it for that reasons. I say I've never played the game, so that's probably a good thing for me. Is I'm going into it just like going, oh, it's just a really over top comedy series.
I think it'll be okay, but like the game's like really dark. Like everyone's got like quite a dark backstory. Obviously, PlayStation 1's not like a ton of like dialogue and stuff, but like the backstory for all the characters is pretty dark. And then in this, it's just like all like trying to be funny, like when he's singing and he's like hitting his head on the fucking. Oh, I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm pretty sure one of the characters first have like severe PTSD and stuff, and then like that's just gone. Like, it's like not at all. Like, it's so stupid. Also, I was like, I'll watch this at some point, but it does not look brilliant.
I say, as someone who's not played the games, it might be something more in my direction. Whereas someone who's played the games, they'll probably be the case of they'll be pointing out, yeah, no. A bit like Halo. I haven't really played all the Halo games, so I watched it and was like, it's alright. I wouldn't say it's the best thing in the world, but I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. But someone as a Halo fan, watch it and go, no, it's dog shit. It's that kind of idea. Is for someone who's not a fan, they might get a lot more enjoyment than someone who is a fan of the actual source material. What else have I got? Obviously, I'll stick with the new trailers, actually. Obviously, that was one of my trailers I've written down, Twisted Metal. Obviously, we also had the trailer for Wonka, Ahsoka, Blue Beetle, Godzilla -1, Napoleon, and The Witcher Series 3 Part 2. That one literally dropped today. Out of all those ones, Blue Beetle's probably the one I'm most interested for, because it does look pretty cool. I'm just hoping it doesn't flop like all the other DC films lately. Witcher Series 3 is another one I'm looking forward to 'cause it's the last half, and they even reference that in the trailers, like literal reference to do this as if it's your last time. Napoleon, I'm interested to see how that's handled, because obviously it's Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon, and it's being directed by Ridley Scott, so it could be hit or miss. It's Ridley Scott, it could be hit or miss. Wonka looks fun, but we'll see how that goes. Ahsoka, that looks pretty sick. As I say, you've already brought up Twisted Metal. And Godzilla Minus One, obviously, is the first Japanese Godzilla since the 2016 movie. So I'm very much interested in this. I wasn't a big fan of the 2016 one, so I'm hoping it's better than that. And the little clip they released, the look of Godzilla looks pretty sick. It looks a lot better than that one. The Godzilla design in the 2016 one looks shite. This one looks more in line with the actual look for Godzilla, not the basically really weird look where it had people's face on its it looked weird. But yeah. But talking about DC movies that flopped, fucking Warner Brothers have already given up on The Flash. You can rent it on Monday. Rent and buy it Monday.
Doesn't surprise me. It's like you probably make more going on renting. No one wants cinema to watch it, so...
That's what I said. I said this is the case of now they're putting it out to see if they can get a bit more money off it. Because that's where a lot of these other films eventually make their money, is through the digital markets. But yeah, especially after the case of people like slagging stuff off about it and saying, "Oh, this is bad in this. Oh, this was good in it." People then might be going, "Oh, fuck it, I'll buy it at home or watch it at home."
Yeah, instead of paying 4 tickets to take all my family, I just pay one price, and everyone can watch this shit festival.
Exactly. And the last bit of thing I have here is obviously there's been a lot of set photos released from Deadpool 3 like the last fucking week.
Yeah, I keep seeing them all.
I've seen obviously Hugh Jackman in the classic, more comic accurate yellow and blue Wolverine outfit, and it looks amazing. The suit looks fucking top notch. There's shots of basically him just walking, and the shots of him fighting Deadpool. There's an actual behind the scenes video of him throwing Deadpool through a wall. Obviously, he's not actually doing it. He throws something, which is obviously obviously the green screen something in from to throw. I'm guessing like a car or something stupid like that. And you see the Deadpool stunt double go through a wall. That's pretty cool. And there's like a set photo of the 20th Century Fox logo from the intro, like destroyed on the ground. So they're going full fucking meta on this one. And also they cast Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Obviously she played the character in the Ben Affleck Daredevil film all those years ago. So hopefully, if this is handled right, it's going to be amazing. Like if it's handled like Spider-Man No Way Home and the Spider-Verse movies, it's going to be fucking good. But if it's handled in the line of Flash and Doctor Strange 2, where people are like, this, I'm hoping so much is going to be in it, and then that's not even in it, then that's going to be like a fucking shit film. So I'm hoping they do the right thing of what people expect. What people are expecting, a lot of it is going to be in it. Obviously, a couple of things you can take away and it's not going to be a problem, but obviously the main thing that people want, that's kind of what you want to see in this film, or else it's going to be just another Flash Doctor Strange 2 where they've promised so much and under-delivered on all of it. Obviously Doctor Strange in the sense of they promised like a multiverse of madness, but all of it was just confined to one sequence, and that was it. And then the Flash obviously went the more CGI route instead, so that was the more underwhelming one. But if it goes that route for these two films, rather than actually fully is going like No Way Home, where like it was a big part of the actual plot, I feel like this film's gonna flop. But if it's handled right and it is more in the vein of No Way Home, like how they did that, I feel like it's gonna be a hit. I feel like it could be. I think it comes out next May. I think it is. It could be a case of a film that literally hits $1 billion if it's done right.
Gone off.
It's not for me, so that's good.
Hello. Your mic gone off. It made like a massive noise.
I don't know sign language, so people can hear me.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
But I can't hear you. Your mic's gone
I
off.
can hear you.
Right. Your mic made like a massive like squeak noise, and now you're just not talking. There's no green box or anything.
Oh yeah, it's weird. Okay. I have.
I'll keep it going.
Lovely Discord. This is. Fuck. Where's the? Oh my god. Where's the button for it? Why have I got no button for this anymore? Maybe if I go off and come back on again. Join video call.
Hello?
Hello?
There we go. You're back. You're back. Jesus, it made like a massive noise and my head just was like melting.
For some reason, my camera's now just like completely gone fuck.
You look fine on my side.
No, on my OBS screen, for some reason the camera's now like half my camera's now your camera. What the
I'd say your camera flickered, like you made like a blue flash, and then your mic made like a massive noise, and it just went off.
Oh, there we go, fixed it. For some reason, like the one side of my camera, like here, on my obviously OBS, how obviously it's cropped and everything. It was just like half of your camera, so you had your camera and then half of yours here as well, and it's just like what the fuck. I have to minimize it and everything. But yeah, so hopefully it's a fucking hit, Deadpool 3. Because I mean, for the fact that it's the first obviously of Deadpool going into the MCU, they kind of need to hit the ball straight away.
Yeah.
Especially after the first two were really positively received, and obviously the money was big from both of them. This needs to be a fucking another hit, or else people are going to be looking at like they don't really want Deadpool anymore because Disney ruined it.
They're gonna wait. Yeah.
So hopefully it's not ruined. But yeah, that's all the news I've got. I've got no more news.
I don't have any news other than that Exo Primal game's coming out tomorrow, which looks fun. The dinosaur one, yeah, looks pretty fun. That's the only news I've got.
I'm also out of news. That's why I fucking dragged out the reviews as long as I could. Okay, if that's everything we can think of, you can check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. Usual podcasting platforms. You can check out all the old episodes, which is like 70 odd now. We fucking keep going, man. We'll make it to 100 at some point. It probably won't be this year now for all the delays, like the weeks we've took off. It more likely be started next year, but I am trying to sort out a couple of videos in August/September where Alex is going to join me with some movie reviews. So old school, just what I did with Hayden was just reviewing a movie entirely. So I'm trying to sort out so me and Alex will jump on for 2 or 3 of those, and then obviously the other weeks would be me and Connor. I know we've got some. I know we've got an easy one coming up soon. Because we can just review the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film.
Oh yeah,
that's an easy one. We can literally just review that one at the end of the month / the start of August, and then I think the following week I'm giving you a week off because I'm just going to fucking solo review / hopefully get Hayden back on to review the Meg 2 when that comes out. But yeah, so I'm trying to sort some stuff out so that there'll be less 2 weeks off and more. It'll be weekly. It'll just be 1 week it'll be me and Colin. Next week it'll be me, say Alex, for a couple of videos and. Yeah, keep going like that. So I'm trying to sort them out. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. We hope you've enjoyed our little talk. Obviously, if you've seen all the 3 movies or any of the 3 movies that I've spoke about today, obviously you can put them in the comments below and give your thoughts on them and which one if you've seen them all, which one you preferred the most. Obviously, I've gone for the Mission Impossible as my favourite, Elemental's my second favourite, and then the Kraken one is my third favourite. Obviously, put them in order for how you prefer them. And yeah, what other films coming out over the next few weeks are you interested in? Which one are you going to see first? Obviously, you said the big one is you got Oppenheimer, Barbie, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those are the 3 films coming out in July. So, which one of those are you looking forward to the most? Again, put that in the comments below. And yeah, we just in general, we hope you enjoyed, and you know, we hope to see you next time on the Chat K podcast. That's where you say
now get out of here.
That's where you say goodbye, Connor.
Now get out of here, you goddamn stinking animals.
Stinking animals, you're the one that shit your pants at work.